Uh, Good morning and welcome to Zen Fits here in Blackstone, Virginia, the center of the world where nothing fits. Oh, wait. If you're at the center of the world, then everything fits. Let's take a look at that. Today's talk is the laughter of moo. Moo. Kind of like a guttural thing. Japanese word for no. Moo. Japanese always speak from the hara. Moo, moo, moo. And you all know the cone, but I'll repeat it because the topic of this talk is the laughter of moo. And so this is a classic breakthrough cone of Zen. It's usually called the first cone, although all cones can be the first. But it's a contradiction. It's a contradiction that cannot be solved. And it explodes in moo. So the contradiction is, the monk comes to Jashu. Maybe he's been waiting for years to get an appointment with this master. Heard about Jashu, this great Zen master, this guru. You finally get a chance. You got this burning question. You got this fire inside, this question, this hunger, this yearning. And you formulate it into a question, and you come to Jashu, because you only get one question. And he says, does a dog have Buddha nature or not? And Jashu says, moo. Jashu says, moo, which means no. So this is a cone because it's a contradiction. What does moo be? What does moo mean? If you say it's answering the monk's question with a yes, it's wrong. If it's answering the question with no, it's wrong. So to this monk's question, yes, both yes or no are wrong. If he says yes, a dog does have Buddha nature, then the monk's question is just information. He might as well Google it. Why does he want to go to see a master? Oh, yes. Oh, well. That's not the monk's question. The monk's question is, why am I hurting? And if he says no, the dog doesn't have Buddha nature, then Jashu is going against the basic tenet or axiom or truth of Buddhism, that all beings have Buddha nature. So moo is Buddha nature. So what is Buddha nature? It's laughter. So let's talk about Seinfeld. Let's jump right over to that. Oh God, this light keeps switching here. Uh-oh. We got the light on. Okay. So let's let's go, keeping dementia at bay here. So let's go to Seinfeld. Now I like to watch TikTok, and I'll watch TikTok before I'm trying to get out of this light. Bothers me. As a photographer, I'm bothered by light changing. Okay. So I like to watch a little TikTok before I go to bed. And of course, the TikTok I watch is clips of comics and document. Anyway, but I like to watch the clips of Curb Your Enthusiasm and Seinfeld. So this is kind of like bringing them back to me. And I realized that Seinfeld and Larry David and Seinfeld were Zen comics. Each one of those shows is a little Zen cone. It's got a contradiction in it. And the contradiction is that our characters innocently weave a little double bind, where no matter what they do, they're trapped. See, a double bind is a contradiction in a single situation that creates a trap where nothing you do is any good. It's like a sting. You know, The Sting, remember the movie with Robert Redford? They created a sting where this guy, I forgot who it was, got trapped by his own strength. In other words, one's strength that you use to get out of the trap becomes the force that creates the trap. That's like the, you know, the moment of aha or satori. The moment of satori is when you see the whole, whereas before you only saw the parts. The moment of satori or kensho is when you see the whole or the contradiction that has trapped you in your assumptions. So it's like that moment of Jurassic Park. Remember that when you saw the dinosaur? Avatar. When you see Pandora. Or when you see Jack Nicholson's and The Shining. You know, so horror or wonder are kind of like the same. Horror or wonder are kind of like that. I see the trap. I see the hole, whereas before I was blind. I see the double bind. You see, the double bind is very important to understand double binds. A double bind is a situation where you have two viewpoints, both of which are valid, but they're contradictory, and they're like a yin and the yang. They go round and around in the same mind, in the same situation. It's like an argument with your wife, you know. There's two viewpoints, and you're in the same situation, which might be the kitchen. So you got two viewpoints in the kitchen. And which one is going to be the one viewpoint? They're both valid, but they're contradictory. So you know. Now this wah of two viewpoints is a double bind, which means there's no logical way out. There's no logical way out. There's no logical way out of a Zen cone. There's no logical way out of the Joshu's trap. That's why these Zen cones are traps, because like Seinfeld skits and Larry David, they are traps. The innocent is trapped by his own curiosity, their own strength. Larry David is always being trapped in Curb Your Enthusiasm by his questioning. Why do we do that? And next thing you know, he's bound up in a trap. Same with Seinfeld. There will be like George Costanza, he will think, he wants to get out of the double bind, and he does and whatever he does to get out of the double bind creates the trap. So what is mu in Seinfeld and Larry David? It's laughter. You laugh. The audience laughs. This is what laughter is. Laughter gets you out of the double bind. When you're caught in when the characters are caught in a double bind and they can't get out, like Raymond or all of these King of Queens or all of these classic shows, you know, the character gets in a double bind, but the audience laughs. So the show evokes the laughter of the audience. And the Zen cone evokes mu in you see. In other words, this is very difficult to explain. I keep working at it. But the only way out of a contradiction in your life, the only way out of a double bind in your life. That's what's important. The double binds in your life. You have to be able to see them. You have to be able to catch them at the corner of your eye. You have to notice, wait a minute, this is a double bind. No matter what I do here, I lose. If I do this, I lose. If I do that, I lose. It's catch-22. Catch-22 is when yes is no and no is yes. The island in the in the book Catch-22 by Heller. The pilots were trapped on this island in the Mediterranean, and they all wanted to get off. They all wanted to stop flying these stupid missions, but everything they did to get off created the trap. They couldn't get off. Catch-22. So how do you get off the island of Catch-22? You laugh. You see the absurdity of it. So Zen koans are absurd. Seinfeld is absurd. Larry David is absurd. And we can't get out of the absurdity logically with our thinking mind, with our conscious mind, so we laugh. And the greater the absurdity, the greater the realization that it's absurd, the greater the laughter. The laughter is an explosion of unity. Laughter is ironic laughter is an explosion of moo. Moo is an explosion of laughter at the absurdity of life, at the absurdity of the double bind of life. Life is a Laurel and Hardy show, or a Seinfeld show, or a Larry David show, or King of Queens, or whatever show you like, you see, is life. And life is absurd. Life is a double bind. You can't get out of it. You can't get out of life, no matter how you try. There's no means to the end of the double bind. You say, Buddha got out, you do the Eightfold Path and you'll get out. No. There's no means to get out of the double bind of consciousness. Consciousness is the double bind. You can't win. You can't lose. You just lose. No matter what you do, you never get out and get home. You never get rest. You never get permanent rest. You never get to arrive. It's always one more thing. History is one damn thing after another, you see. One damn trap after another. One damn double bind. One damn contradiction after another. The only way out is moo. Thanks for dropping in.